Okay, our recording has started. Let's go ahead and begin. Welcome, everyone. We are so glad that you are here with us this afternoon for your lunch hour. We are going to be talking about the CSWE College of Social Work SUDEALS Scholars Program. Specifically, this is information for our cohort number 2, which is for the next academic year. All right. So first, I want to welcome you. If you don't know who I am Rhonda DeNovo, and I am our MSW Program Director. I also serve as the coordinator of our Drug and Addiction Certificate Program, and I'm also serving as the Project Director for the SUDEALS Scholars Program. And also, I want to introduce you to Avril. Avril, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. I'm Avril. I'm the Interim Director of Field Education, and I think I know everyone on here. So welcome. We're glad you're here.
Yes, absolutely. Welcome. We're so glad that you're interested in this. All right. So we have an agenda of what we're going to do together for the next hour. You can see her on the screen. We're going to talk about what is this SUDEALS Scholars Program. We're also going to talk about who oversees the program. We're going to talk about, do I qualify for this SUDEALS Scholars opportunity? What are the requirements for scholars? What are the benefits for our scholars? How do I apply? How will the scholars be selected? And what if I have any additional questions? So we're just going to kind of walk you through this. And certainly we will make sure that we leave some time at the end for you to ask any questions that you might have. All right, so let's begin with what is the SUDEALS Scholars Program? The SUDEALS Scholars Program, SUDEALS is actually an acronym, and it stands for the Substance Use Disorders Education and Leadership Scholars Program. This is a program that is offered through CSWE. CSWE stands for the Council on Social Work Education. This is a national organization that serves as the accrediting body for social work programs. So here in the College of Social Work, both our BSW program and our MSW program is accredited through the Council on Social Work Education. They are the ones who are offering the funds for this SUDEALS Scholars Program. A little bit more about the funding information. I mentioned that this funding is made possible through the through the Council on Social Work Education. But you may be wondering, well, where did they get the money? So that program is actually funded to CSWE through SAMHSA. So if you're not familiar with what SAMHSA is, SAMHSA stands for the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. And even more specifically, this is funded through the ORN, which stands for the Opioid Response Network. The Opioid Response Network is actually a subaward that is coming through the American Academy of Addiction Psychiatry. So the goal of the Opioid Response Network is to ensure and enhance and expand evidence-based prevention, treatment, and recovery services and supports for people with substance use disorder. So all of that to say that we receive the funding through CSWE, that is the Council on Social Work Education, and they receive the money through SAMHSA and the ORN. Okay. All right. So now just a brief overview of what this SUDEALS program is all about. Essentially what CSWE does each year is they select 10 programs, that is College of Social Work programs that are accredited, to essentially develop cohorts of social workers specializing in substance use disorders, specifically by engaging BSW and MSW students. So this SUDEALS Scholars Program is for both our BSW and our MSW students. The programs that are selected each year are chosen based on their demonstrated experience and expertise in substance use and misuse related to social work education and practice. Social work programs also have to provide a clear plan for student selection, curriculum implementation, and evaluation of a program effectiveness. And lastly, all of these 10 programs have to have clear programmatic support and infrastructure to operationalize the program. For this year, or I should say, for this round of awards to social work programs, which by the way, this is a 3-year program. And as I mentioned, we are entering cohort 2. So you're going to meet our cohort 1 students here momentarily. But this information session is based on the application process for cohort 2, that is year 2 of the grant. So the 10 social work programs that were awarded the SUDEALS Scholars Program from 2025 through 2027, you can see here on the screen, these are the 10 schools of social work that received the funding. And we are down there as number 9. I don't think we were selected as number 9. I think that's just the order. These are placed in alphabetical order, so, or maybe not. Yes, they are. I don't know. Either way, we're one of the 10. And so we have this SUDEAL Scholars Program from 2025 through 2027. All right, so our cohort 1 began this semester. So we actually applied for this grant back in somewhere around I think it was September, no, probably a little earlier than that, maybe around August or so. And then we were awarded the grant in late November, early December. So basically between December and January, we were asked to select 4 students for our cohort number 1 scholars program. So we selected 2 students from our BSW program and 2 students from our MSW program. And we selected them based on their good academic standing and their demonstrated interest in working with folks with substance use disorder. So I want to introduce you to these 4 current scholars. From our BSW program, we have Gabriella Petty. And Gabriella, are you here? If Gabriella's on the call, she's not. Okay. And Javiance Weidman. So Javiance, you are here. Would you like to say hello?
Hi, everyone.
Thank you. And then we also have 2 students from the MSW program, and that is Sarah Hanson and Takara Jones. And I think both Sarah and Takara here. So to Sarah and Takara, would you please introduce yourselves?
Hi.
Hey, Sarah. Takara? Right, well, maybe she.
I've been trying to come off mute for a minute.
Okay,
Sorry.
there you are.
I had gotten caught on my ID. Like, it was a lot going on just now. Anyway, hey, everybody. I'm Takara. I know I look tired. I don't look like that picture on your screen, but that is me. But yes, welcome. I'm glad to see everybody's excited and wanting to apply.
And we're glad that you guys are here because when we get to the end of the presentation and these students have any questions, I would assume they might want to ask you guys some questions about what is it like and what are you doing and, you know, just sort of what are your experiences as a scholar. So you all will get a chance to talk with them a little bit more as we go through the program or go through the information session. All right. So the next thing up is who oversees the College of Social Work SUDEALS Scholars Program. So first I want to introduce you to our dean, Dr. Terry Brown. Dr. Brown has been the dean of our college for a few years now. And also Dr. Aiden Iacchini, who is our assistant dean for research and faculty. Both of these amazing professors have written a lot of grants for our college and just have a lot of grant writing experience. So they really actually took the lead on writing the application for the grant or for the Scholars Award. And they also are going to serve as the evaluators of this program as well. Also, as part of the team, you have April and I. We've introduced ourselves, but just to let you know sort of how we fit in, as I mentioned before, I'm the project director for the SUDEALS Scholars Program, and April, as the director of the field education program, she is also very engaged in this program and involved in helping review and select the scholars and making sure that we are liaisoning with the field placements, because as you're going to see, that's an important part of this scholars program as well. So those are the four faculty and staff members who are overseeing this Council on Social Work Education and College of Social Work SUDEALS program. All right, let me just say a little bit more about how the SUDEALS program and the College of Social Work really go hand in hand and why we think this is such a great fit for our college. First of all, the goal of the SUDEALS program is really designed to connect faculty, staff, field instructors, BSW and MSW students together to really build a strong network that's focused on substance use disorders. And it's really about training and supporting and equipping our scholars with the resources that they need to become competent for this particular profession. And really not just helping them here within the program, but also helping them be prepared to address behavioral health care after they graduate. Particularly here in South Carolina. We have identified this as one of our workforce needs, and so we want to be able to really train up our social work students to be able to go out and work in this area of social work practice when they graduate. It also aligns with the mission of our college. So the mission for our college is really to drive positive changes, particularly through innovative teaching, dynamic research, public service, and experiential learning. So this SUDEALS Scholars Program really supports that well, because as you'll learn, there's opportunities not only for training, but there's opportunity to really engage our field community, our faculty, our staff, and the rest of our social work college community. In addition to trainings, you're going to have the opportunity to provide presentations about what you've learned in the coming year as well. So it provides support for our community and growing capacity in this area. And lastly, we think that this SUDEALS Scholars Program aligns well with our college's key strategic goals. Specifically, our goal to enhance the student experience and advance postgraduate success. So this is an opportunity for you as a student to go beyond the classroom experience and get involved with other students who are interested in working with people with substance use disorder and developing not only just a formalized cohort, but as a way of getting to know each other and becoming friends and sharing what you're learning about this area of social work practice that you're interested in. Okay, so do I qualify for this opportunity? Well, let's take a look at the requirements. As I mentioned, the College of Social Work plans to select 4 students for next year for this opportunity. 2 of the students are going to be from the BSW program and 2 are going to be from the MSW program. This is a 1-year scholarship opportunity, 1 academic year. So to be eligible for this opportunity, students, first of all, must be enrolled in either the BSW or the MSW program. I do have some students in some of my substance use classes that when I shared this information, they were really excited until they learned that it had to be a student enrolled in BSW or MSW programs, and they are from a different area of the university. So you've got to be enrolled in either the BSW or MSW program, and you also must be in good academic standing. What does that mean? That means that you have to currently carry at least a 2.5 if you are in the BSW program, and you must carry at least a 3.0 or higher if you are an MSW student. If you are not sure what your GPA is, you can get with your academic advisor and they can help you find out that information. Also, you need to be enrolled in and attending a field practicum. Avril, maybe this is where you can help me. For BSW students, that would be what, like 40, like what are the numbers for that in fall and spring? 40 or 30, like what are the field numbers?
Something just went really wrong with my sound.
Oh, well, we hear you now. Or maybe you didn't hear me.
Okay, you can hear me, so I'll just talk. You sound like a chipmunk to me. I don't know what on earth is making that happen. So, um, as far as for field placements, um, essentially part of the application process, and we'll get to that later on, you will need to describe how this will be relevant to your field placement. So as long as you are able to tie them together in a way that meets the criteria, then essentially I don't want to say any field placement will work, but as long most of these will have a tie-in. So even BSW students who have less of a say in the selection of their field placement still definitely have an opportunity here. And I think when we talked about our current students, we didn't talk about their placements, but one is at a school that we've been able to tie in with this program. One is at a child advocacy center. Um, and then we have two at a program that serves the unhoused population. So really, as I think most of you know at this point in time, substance use disorder is very widespread in our community. And so pretty much any placement can be tied into this if as long as you're able to describe that.
Great, thank you. Okay, so again, you've got to be enrolled in the program. You have to be in good academic standing. You need to be enrolled and attending your field practicum, and your field practicum does need to somehow demonstrate that you have the opportunity to be working with individuals or families who are experiencing substance use disorder and related issues. And lastly, you need to demonstrate in your statement of purpose that you really do have a genuine interest in working in the profession of substance use disorder practice. So those are the different elements that would make you eligible. And as Avril already mentioned, what makes an eligible field placement? Well, almost all of the field practicums are eligible because, again, as April said, this is a very widespread issue. And so, if you are working directly with clients, then there's a good chance that you are probably going to be working with either individuals or families that are experiencing this challenge. So those are the criteria for both the student and for the field practicum. Now we're going to talk about, well, what are the requirements if I get selected? If I do get offered a Scholars Award, what would that mean I have to do? Okay, so student scholars are required to attend two orientations. One is the CSWE orientation, and that is set up through CSWE. It is a virtual orientation, and that's a question that you might want to ask the students about here shortly because they did attend that CSWE orientation. You're also going to be required to attend a student orientation. So Averill and I will also be developing a brief orientation to just go over what's required of you here in the college as well. You also must attend the CSWE's annual Fellows Forum. That will be in the spring of 2026, probably in May. Our students are getting ready to go to theirs here shortly. You don't have to worry about any expenses. It's going to be completely paid for. They're going to pay for your travel, they're going to pay for your lodging, and they're going to pay for your food. And also, while you're there, you're going to receive training and you're going to get to network with other fellows from across the country. You're also going to be required to complete pre and post testing on the trainings that you engage in. You will also participate in CSWE webinars, and those are virtual webinars that have been pre-recorded, so you get to watch them at your own pace, at your own convenience. And you will also be given opportunities to complete college of social work trainings. In particular, you're going to have access to SBIRT training. SBIRT training is screening, brief intervention, and referral to treatment. And it is a very common evidence-based screening tool that we use for people who may be dealing with issues of substance use. So you will get trained in SBIRT as well. Also, you're going to be required to do some type of, we haven't worked out all the details of this yet, but we are going to offer some kind of probably poster presentation in the lobby of Hamilton, where you will get to perhaps develop a poster where you can share what you have learned and what your findings have been throughout the year by participating in these different trainings. So much more on that later, but that will be a requirement for cohort 2. And then last but not least, you will need to submit some paperwork for funding, and I'll talk about funding here in just a minute, that will go to CSWE. And that's just very basic paperwork. Again, our students can speak to that here in a minute. You have to fill out a W-9 and a participation agreement, and that is so that you all can receive the stipend that comes along with this Scholars Award. And so that brings us to this next question of, well, what are the benefits for scholars? What do I get out of this for being a student scholar? Well, first of all, you will be receiving CSWE and College of Social Work support and innovative training throughout the academic year. So this is all going to be related again to working with individuals, families, and communities with substance disorder or substance use disorder and challenges. So basically that's the first benefit, is you're going to get training and support in this area of social work practice that you're interested in. You're also going to receive a $2,000 stipend, and that is a one-time award that will come directly to you from CSWE. So it does not go through the college or the university. It's not automatically applied to your tuition. It is literally a live check for $2,000 that you can cash and you can use for whatever you need to use it for, whether that be for school expenses or to help pay your rent or buy groceries or whatever it is. You will get that money directly to you. You also, like I said, will be invited to attend the CSWE Fellows Forum in Washington, D.C. in May of 2026, and all of that travel will be paid for. So they will give you reimbursement for your airplane travel or, car travel or however you get up there. They'll pay for your room and they'll pay for all of your meals. And like I said, you'll also receive training and networking opportunities in DC. I think the Fellows Forum is a 2 to 3 day forum, but again, students can talk about that here shortly. You're also going to get a lot of recognition. We have an amazing social media team here, communications team. If you are not already familiar with Nick Moore and Victoria, you will soon, Victoria Montgomery, if you haven't been introduced to them, you certainly will, because they love to brag about our students. And so there will be lots of opportunity. This year for cohort 1, they interviewed each of the 4 students and wrote up a nice little biography about each of them and featured each of them on all of our social media channels. So I'm sure that will occur again next year. And then you'll also get some recognition for the presentations that we offer to our college community. And you'll also get to, maybe meet some new people. It'll be an opportunity for you and your field instructor to work together in a way that a lot of other students don't have. You'll have an opportunity to network with our faculty and other professionals who are interested in working with people with substance use disorders as well. So lots of benefits to this scholarship. All right, so if you're still here, you're still interested and you want to know more, let me share with you how to apply. So these are the instructions for the application process. To apply for the SUDEALS Scholars Program cohort number 2, first of all, you need to ask yourself, do I meet those eligibility requirements that Professor DeNovo just went over? In other words, am I enrolled in the program? Am I in good academic standing? Am I either placed in or plan to be placed in a field practicum where I can, work with folks either individually or with families or communities that are dealing with substance use disorder and challenges. If you meet the eligibility requirements, then what you need to do is submit a completed application. And if you make it through the first round, you will be asked to also go through an interview process. So those are the 3 areas of instruction for this application. Let's talk about the application itself. What is it that you actually need to submit? Applications for the SUDEALS Scholars Program include 3 components. The first is a resume. So we want your most updated resume. Please be sure to include any experience that you have, either in field practicum, volunteer work, or paid employment that relates to working with people with substance use disorder. Okay, so we want to basically see, do you already have any experience working with this population? It's not required, but it is helpful. In addition to your resume, we want a letter of professional recommendation. 1. So this cannot be your best friend or your next door neighbor or your roommate. This needs to be somebody that can speak to your ability to do well academically or your ability to do well in employment. So this might be a field instructor, a field liaison, somebody in your field practicum who can speak to the work that you're doing. It might be a professor. It might be your academic advisor. It might be the field director or somebody in the field office. But it needs to be somebody who can say, yes, I think this person can do well academically, and I think this person can do well in the profession. Third, you need to complete the statement of purpose and field practicum relevance. So this is a statement that you are going to write. You can use a Word document to get you started. It does need to be in PDF form, as I'll mention here in a moment, and I'll talk about what all needs to be in that statement. But all 3 of these documents need to be submitted together in one email. And I'll talk about that here shortly too. But all 3 documents need to be included in order for your submission to be reviewed and considered. All right, so now let's look at this statement of purpose and field practicum relevance. What are the requirements and the prompts? Your statement of purpose and field practicum relevance statement should, first of all, be free of grammatical, spelling, and syntax errors. In other words, please proofread this statement before you submit it. Okay. Grammarly is a great program that can help you with that if you don't have somebody who could take a look at it and edit it for you. Also, it needs to be at least one page. It needs to be in your own words, not AI generated. Okay. Also, it needs to be double spaced using 12-point sans serif font. That's Arial Calibri or Helvetica. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. My personal favorite is Arial, but any of those will do. 1-inch margins and submitted as a single PDF. Okay, so you're going to do it in Word document, then convert it to a PDF. And here are the prompts that you're going to address in this statement. First of all, you need to explain why you're interested in working in the profession of substance use disorder practice. So a genuine passion for this population. Second of all, you need to describe how you're chosen, or if you haven't chosen yet, your desired field practicum will provide you with opportunities to work with individuals or families experiencing substance use disorder and related issues. This is what Avril was talking about a few minutes ago. Help us understand how this particular placement is going to give you direct access to working with people with substance use disorder. And then lastly, tell us why you think you should be selected for the SUDEALS Scholars Program. What makes you uniquely special and preferred over all the other applicants? Please be sure to include a statement on how you can benefit the Scholars Program and also how the Scholars Program will benefit you. Okay, so that's what needs to be in your statement of purpose. All right, applications are being accepted now, beginning today, through Friday, May 2nd at 5 p.m. So you've got a little bit of time to work on this. There's no great rush, but I will tell you that May 2nd is the deadline. So we need to have your submission before May 2nd. If you submit it after May 2nd, we will not be considering it. Submissions must be fully complete to be considered and reviewed. So submissions, again, are considered complete when you include all three components of the application. That includes your resume, one letter of professional recommendation, and a statement of purpose and field practicum relevance. All three of those documents should be submitted in one email. The email should go to both myself and to Avril, and our email addresses are listed here. The email subject line must read your first and last name and then SUDEALS application submission 2025. And I've put an example on here to show you. So put your name and then in cap letters, SUDEALS application submission 2025. All right, how are these scholars going to be selected? Avril and I will be appointing a panel made up of faculty and staff that will review and score your applications based on a rubric. The top applicant scores will be required to then participate in a virtual interview. So once we have reviewed all the applications, that is, the panel has reviewed, they will bring forward the top applicants, and then Avril and I will be conducting virtual interviews in May for those top applicants. Once we conduct all of the interviews, the top interviewed students will be offered the Scholars Award via email from me no later than the end of June. Okay. Scholars will be offered the award if you choose to accept the award. You will need to acknowledge that in writing and agree to the requirements of the award in an acknowledgement letter that I will send to you. Okay, that's going to happen sometime in July. Don't know the exact dates just yet, but you will, all of that will happen then. Okay, so now, what if I still have questions? I'm going to go ahead and open this up And you are welcome to either put your questions in the chat box or you can raise your hand and we can call on you. But we have about 20 minutes to answer questions. And Sophie, I see you've turned your camera on and you've raised your hand. So please go right ahead with your question. And thank you for being here.
Absolutely. I am very, very excited about this. And it feels super relevant and just like a great opportunity. So thank y'all for sharing more. I do have a couple questions. So I am extended time and in the Greenville MSW program. I wanted to make sure that y'all aren't looking for just full-time MSW students.
No, all MSW students and all BSW students. Is that correct, April? So we're glad you're excited, Sophie. We'll look forward to getting your application. Do you have a couple more questions?
I do. So in addition to that, I am currently working at the Phoenix Center in Greenville, and I do more macro work with the community around substance use disorders. And I wanted to make sure like this is open to macro and micro focused engagement with substance use disorders.
I am okay with that. I support that. April, I'd be interested in your opinion as well.
No, I agree. I think it's relevant, particularly with that setting. It's going to be relevant across the board. That's your placement through, or is that that's your placement through summer?
Yes, it is. And I am in the process of applying to a different department for the next placement within the Phoenix Center as well.
Okay. I think, especially given that you'll have exposure in the Phoenix Center to different departments and areas, then it makes it especially relevant.
Okay, wonderful. And then my last question is, so I know that there is the like special certification program for substance use social work, and I wanted to see if that's like a requirement or a preferred, thing for applicants to be in pursuit of in order to apply for this program.
Okay, so I'll take a stab at this one, Sophie. First of all, no, you do not have to be a student in the drug and addiction certificate program. However, as the coordinator of that program, I would love to encourage you to consider it, especially if you know this is what you want to do when you graduate, because that certificate program contains courses that are very relevant and very specific to the type of work that you're interested in. As you know, this is a specialty area of social work. And so not only is your, advanced generalist degree in social work relevant, but actually having that specialized knowledge and practice is also relevant. So it is not required for this SUDEALS program. But if you think you might be interested in that as well, certainly reach out to me via email and I'd love to talk to you more about our certificate program.
All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Any other questions, Sophie?
Those were all my questions. Y'all covered everything else.
Okay. All right. Teresa or Doreen, do either one of you have some questions, or Catherine?
I don't have any questions, but thank you guys so much for explaining everything. I think it's a great opportunity, and I love the Washington, D.C. trip, so I think that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, so I think our only student left on the call who's a current scholar is Sarah. Sarah, I don't know if you might want to share anything about that DC trip. I know you haven't gone yet, but I also know that you all have been planning for it. So is there anything that you might want to share?
I don't have a lot since we haven't gone yet, but I do know that the hotel they've placed us with is really nice. It's like $350 a night and it's free, so that it's really nice. And then they're paying for our travel to get there and any food and things like that. So it's all pretty much covered I'm going in I'm flying in early so I've been to DC. I really like it. So I'm going to go in early and just hang out for a little bit before I check in. And then that's the only real time that we'll have before the Fellows Forum. But we also are doing a day on the Capitol Hill. And then that's it. But definitely, like, my therapist recommended that I printed business cards for it, so it'll be a good opportunity to network and things like that. So
That's a great idea. Yeah. Okay. Doreen, do you have any questions?
I have a question for Sarah. The training requirements and things that you guys had to complete, um, was it like age specific? Is it like more so geared towards youth, adults, or like a mixture of both?
it's pretty mixtured. Have it up so I could look at it, but I think it's pretty broad. And what it covers a lot of different things. It has two on like women specifically, but for the rest, it could apply to anyone. And they were all really easy. I don't think any of them are longer than an hour, and you just do like a little survey at the end, and that's it. They're really easy.
Okay. And
Sarah, can you share? I think there's about 8 or 10 of them up there to choose from.
I only have 6.
6.
And
Okay.
I think we have to complete all 6. So
Okay. All right. And then, like I mentioned, we also are going to offer trainings. Sarah's cohort didn't get this because they're only one semester because we started in spring, where for you all as cohort 2, it'll be fall and spring. So we're going to offer more through the College of Social Work as well. Like I said, we've already created a Blackboard site that you all will have access to, your field instructors will have access to, and there'll be some additional trainings in that as well. Okay, any other questions?
Yes, hello. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I forgot to mention this, and I don't know if y'all mentioned this, but I do trainings like on Relias, and then I also am doing some of the trainings that April had put for us to do as an extra for some hours for the MSW program. Would you guys like me to put some of those trainings I've done that surround substance use in the resume? Or I wasn't sure if you guys touched on that. I apologize.
I think that would be great. What do you think, April?
Absolutely. I think that's definitely something to include in your resume to show that you've done that extra training on the side.
Thank you, guys.
Any other questions? Or April or Sarah, anything that you can think of that I didn't mention that would be important? No?
I think you covered everything.
Okay, so this recording will be available to you. All you will need to do is go back to this link, and you can look in the chat, and the recorded link will be there as well. So if you need to go back and re-review it, you can do that. Or if you have any questions, I think on the next slide I've put both. Let me flip here. Yes, there's my email address and also Avril's email address. And that's also where you're going to submit your application, is to the both of us as well. So, don't hesitate to reach out to us. Avril, I'm trying to think of a way too. I'll make sure that you have these slides and the link,
Okay.
and that way we could send it back out to everybody again.
Yep.
I'm going to be here again tomorrow. I'm coming for Social Work Month to celebrate with our part-time and extended time students. And so I've got some flyers that I'm going to hand out, and I'll have this information available there too. So, well, thank you all for spending some time with us and being interested in this. I'm very excited to know that, this is an opportunity that you think is important and that you would like to be a part of. So we will look forward to receiving your applications soon, hopefully.
Thank you for the information. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, you all have a wonderful Friday and a good weekend, and we'll hope to hear from you soon.
Thank you. Same to you. And I'll see you on campus tomorrow.
Yay! I'm looking forward to it. All right, bye-bye.